So in our conversation, we talked about how Vikas started his journey, how what is the technology that is being used, and how it is creating impact in the society. Now, we would like to explore more thoughts about, so what is a critical resource, and we would like to know more thoughts from Vikas of what he thinks about it and how, as a society, we can tackle this crisis. Bangalore faced a lot of crisis 2-3 years back about water. So what do you think, how we should, as a society, work towards developing sustainable practices?
Right. So I'll give a brief on what is currently happening in terms of infrastructure. All the cities of our country are resource rich. So when we say scarcity, it is not actually non-availability of water. It's actually the distribution or mismanagement of distribution, or the infrastructure doesn't support the availability of water. India is a resource rich nation. We have enough water. If we're able to manage it really well, then we don't have scarcity. Well, that is what is my view. Now, if you come to exact way how we look at water as a distribution. Now, when government plans the water, they look at water distribution from a reservoir. The river water goes to a reservoir, and from there, say for example, Bangalore gets water from 100 kilometers away. So it comes from a reservoir, we pump across many substations, comes to Bangalore, and then the government's work is for distributing that water to each one. So we started looking at putting pipelines, Kaveri line pipelines. So we look at distribution first, and then look at the wastewater. So we technically not focus on wastewater going out of the city. But if you see how developed countries work on wastewater, they look at the population of the area which they want to develop. Say they have a new area which is going to get developed. They look at what is the population of that area. They look at what is the wastewater which is going to get generated in that area. And they look at distributing that water, treated wastewater, to industrial segment. And then they come at fresh water. So they look at wastewater first and then come to fresh water. So they solve sanitation first and then comes to fresh water. So we have grown really rapidly. So the government's role has always been to cater to fresh water supply first. We've never got time to catch up with the wastewater which is going out of the city. So this is one big infrastructure change which is required from the government side as well as from individual side. Since we have grown really fast, we should be probably not looking at centralized infrastructure. See, government in Bangalore has 34 large STPs where large areas required, large distribution line is required. If you can move from decentralized approach of wastewater to centralized approach of wastewater to decentralized. Now, when there is decentralized, the wastewater is, say, produced in this building, the treated water is needed in the next building. So you solve it in a very closed loop nearby cycle, instead of having one plant 50 kilometers away, piping, doing all the piping, doing distribution will not be viable and not practically possible at the speed at which we are growing. So that one infrastructure change in terms of looking wastewater as a resource, that will change the way how we look at wastewater. Now, in 2008, when I moved back, the average borewell depth was 450 to 500. How do we know it? We spoke to lots of borewell contractors who take orders for 450 to 500 feet. They used to take orders for digging a borewell 450 to 500 feet. Now you go ask all the 14, 15 guys who are doing large borewell drilling, they don't take contracts below 1,000 feet. So we have been extracting water at such a large pace, we are not able to put water back to the ground at that speed. So there is an estimate saying that we are taking in 3 times more water than we actually put in, right? So we will naturally have lesser and lesser groundwater available for distribution, right? Now, if you take Bangalore as a city, 50% of water is the municipal water supply. Kaveri water is 1,450 MLD is supplied by the Kaveri. The remaining 1,400 or 1,500 MLD is coming from our ground, right? We are extracting such a large volume of water from the ground, and we don't have enough data in terms of how much water is available below the ground. So government spends 50,000 rupees per acre for surface water work, like putting pipelines, putting sanitation lines, all that. We don't spend any money to understand what is the water available below the ground. Okay. So until we look wastewater as an important resource, we can't really grow sustainably. Okay. Now, whenever we say this, people say we should first look at rainwater. See, rainwater has been mandated since 2002. Rainwater is the first thing we should do. It is most obvious. Rainwater harvesting is mandatory. Most obvious thing that needs to be done. That is the best water which we could get. That's the first thing people have to do. But when government plans, they can't just stick to one mode of water because it's seasonal. We should have the whole infrastructure plan, which includes rainwater, which includes wells which are available in our city, which includes all the wastewater network, which includes industrial area which can use our water. So if we're able to manage this really wastewater infrastructure really well, we won't have scarcity. It's not just Bangalore. All the cities of India is going through the same path. Pune is 15 years. What we saw Bangalore 15 years ago in terms of STP enforcement, in terms of anything, Pune is in exactly same stage. Mumbai, luckily they have a sea. Mumbai and Chennai, we have sea. So anything wastewater, one flash flood takes away all the sewage to the ocean. Meaning, what I'm saying is if we don't look at wastewater as an important source, we'll always be dependent on luck, hope of having something happen, let the rain come. We always benchmark everything on hope.
Absolutely right. One more thing, as Bangaloreans, we are very close to our Bangalore lakes, and a lot of STP water goes into the lakes. Do you have any data of how much that is happening? Any things that our government is planning to do, and what as a society we should do?
Bangalore used to have 1,000 lakes. Bangalore used to be a city of 1,000 lakes. Now, all the major Kantirava Stadium is in a lake. Majestic is in a lake. All the big lakes got big buildings. So now Bangalore has 186 lakes. The numbers might not be exact. 186 lakes are there. 184 lakes are contaminated with fecal coliforms. Now, when people treat the water, if it is not taken to a standard which is suitable for the lake, then lake will have raw sewage coming in. Okay. The issue which is happening now is if there is say 10 apartments near a lake, okay, or 10 industries or apartment in a lake, they treat the water and then send it to a line which has untreated water coming in from independent buildings. Okay. So effectively all the water which goes to the lake will become sewage because it is untreated, treated, everything gets mixed and goes to the lake. Until there is separate pipeline network which is available to take the wastewater, treated water to the lake, then this is not viable. I'll give an example. Now we always talk about lake, we have to fill the lakes. How much water do we need a lake? Say, let's take an example of Agra Lake. Okay. Next to Agra Lake, there is a 35 MLD government STP. They need 5 MLD. That's all they need to, only the evaporation loss, it percolates a little bit and rest all is evaporation loss. You don't need the entire volume to fill the lake. You can't fill the lake, it will overflow, right? So you will still be left with large volume. If you fill the lakes with good water, even then there is a large volume, 80%, 75% of treated wastewater which is available where people won't know where to send. They will send it to one of our nalas which gets mixed with untreated wastewater and it either goes to tier 2 cities or the next city, right? So lakes become, see, when they designed lakes for Bangalore, it is a cascading. So one lake fills the next, one lake fills the next. Now there is no cascading. We have independent buildings in between, so there is no cascade. But we have an important example on how lakes can be a big source of water. So Devanali used 2017-18, Devanali was declared drought. Devanali, where our airport is there, declared drought. There was no water, borewells were not yielding water. People were in stress in terms of finding water. So with the help of biome and many other things, they identified a lake called Seenirkere. Okay, so what happens from Bangalore, Hebbal Nagara region, the STP treated water, wastewater, which is treated at Hebbal Nagara region and then goes to Bangalore Lake. From there, they pump the water to Seenirkere. So it is wastewater from Bangalore, treated wastewater is filling a lake. All right. Now, biome and other people involved, they were old wells. So if you know Seenirkere, it's next to the fort where Tipu Sultan was born. It is next to that, okay? That was filled with debris. It was not working. Biome, many people say trees, many people involved got that EFY. All of them got the lake cleaned. Now the wastewater from Bangalore is going to that lake, okay? Once it went to the lake, there were wells which were done 100 years ago around the lake. Okay, those wells got cleaned, and then the water slowly started seeping to the well, and from the well we now have a treatment plant which treats that water which comes to the well and then supplies back to the Devanali population. 10% of Devanali's population is using our water, treated water, from the lake. Effectively, all the psychological barrier is gone because it goes to a lake. There is natural filtration. There's one more concept called filter borewells, where near the lake you dig a 90 feet, 50 to 90 feet borewell, meaning they call it filter borewell, extract that water which has earth filtration, all that naturally happened. The water is fairly filtered with earth, and then we take it to a treatment plant, then supply it to the population. Then it meets all the IS-10 500 standards. It is being supplied now. Phase 2, we are every day we are supplying around 600 KLD, 6 lakh liters every day. We are supplying to the Devanali population. Now it is third year. It has been consistent. So that is one way where cities' wastewater can become an important resource to fill the lakes, and the lakes in turn become a domestic water supply with natural earth filtration. This comes under a category called indirect potable reuse. This is India's first indirect potable reuse, and we are proud and happy to have worked with Biome and other people who have made this happen. It is so much effort. The first meeting happened in 2016 regarding this lake. The first implementation happened in 2023. So it takes so many people to involve local Gram Panchayat, government, local people who are fishing, their business is gone. Lots of things had to be handled. And finally, we are happy that now there is no drought. The water is available. 6 lakh liters every day is available for people to use, and IS-10 500 standards water.
That is great, inspiring story as well. So lastly, if you have to give one advice to these families, on individuals, families, how they should save water or reuse water, what would it be?
Yeah. So as an individual, I always feel that you put an RO system at your house, right? You see the wastewater going out of it. You feel bad about it because so much of water is getting wasted. For 1 liter, 3 liter gets wasted. There's so much of feeling towards wasting water, right? When you open a tap while you brush, you have that feeling that you're wasting water. All these are basic, we can see. Okay. Do you know what actually happens with the used water going out of the building? The same apartments, in the apartment, they'll say my RO water is getting wasted. But down 50,000 liters, 60,000 liters of water every day, treated water, they illegally send it to the drain. So this view of looking at and analyzing things by what you see and not what you understand needs to change. So as an individual or as a family, if you're looking, whatever you look, it's logical. You're wasting water, you should not be wasting water. We should go one step further and look at what happens to our water which is used already. See, we out of 135 liters per person per day, we drink 3 liters, 4 liters, right? Rest all, where does it go? So rest all is either affecting someone or is it helping someone, right? If that view changes, people look at what gets used. I physically need 3 to 4 liters. Apart from that, where does all the other water go? So this one perspective change will really save a lot of water. It's not the 3 liters which you waste. It's the 300 liters for the family which goes wasted. So things which you don't see is actually causing more problem than things you see.
Correct. Absolutely right. That was a great conversation. Finally, we have come to a fun icebreaker kind of session. I'll ask you some questions and you can give your answers. So which is your favorite sports?
Badminton.
Great. Badminton is like a favorite sport for the Bangalore.
It looks like so. I was under 14. I was state.
Oh, great.
Tamil Nadu state. And then I left it for many years. Now I got back to that passion. Now I'm playing 3 days a week, so I like badminton.
Okay. Favorite movie actor?
Movie actor, I have a lot of actors. I have favorite movie, I can say Gladiator and things like Castaway.
Castaway is a great movie. Your go-to source of daily inspiration?
On the field. So daily inspiration comes on the field. People who struggle, people who see the problem being solved, happy people who want to see us grow. So those are the things which inspire me.
Your life mantra: work hard, fun, balance, everything.
My life mantra is everyone naturally is good. So everyone naturally wants to do right things. they just don't know how to do, or they're not aware of it. So we can't become offensive about people saying something, people doing something because they don't know. So we don't judge people based on what they do. It is what they know.
Great. If not Boson Whitewater, then what?
If not Boson Whitewater, I would have been writing software code in the UK. I would not have come back to India. So I would have got settled there. Good that I came back.
Great. It was a great conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashutosh. Thank you very much, Sanchita, for having me here. It has been a pleasure talking about my journey and the journey for cities of India. Thank you very much. It feels great and happy to be in this podcast. Keep up your good work. I'm sure people listening to this will get some value out of it. Thank you for doing this.